Hi, my name is Bar Scholl. I'm a program manager with the Visual Studio team, and in today's How Do I video, I'm going to show you how to build a simple report using the Report Viewer control in Visual Studio. The Report Viewer control is available in Visual Studio Professional 2008 or Visual Studio Team Systems Edition. The Report Viewer control is not available in the Visual Studio Express editions. So let me go ahead and go to Visual Studio. First thing I need to do is I create a new project, and I'm gonna create a Windows application project, and I call it How Do I Report Viewer. Gonna hit OK. So once a project has been created by Visual Studio, I go ahead to the toolbox, open the toolbox, and go straight down to the reporting tab, and as you can see, there is the Microsoft Report Viewer control. I'm gonna go ahead and drag this control right onto my form. So now the control is on my form. I'm gonna dock it to parent container. Gonna make my form a little bit bigger so that all of us can better see. So once I have dragged my control onto the form, I go to the Smart tag and say, hey, I want to design a new report. In our case, I just want to create a report from our database. I'm using the Northwind database and the customers table. So as a data source type, I'd go with database. Gonna hit next. And I need a new connection. In the connection, I'm gonna enter the name of my database server. Gonna select the database. And I'm gonna go ahead and choose the Northwind database as I mentioned. I click OK. So for those of you who are interested in the connection string, this is the connection string to my database. Gonna hit next. And yes, I want to save the connection as Northwind connection string. I'm gonna click next. So now the data source configuration wizard is retrieving my database information. And here we are. As I mentioned, I'm interested in the data out of the customers table. So I'm going to go ahead, elapse the customers table, and going to check. I'm going to uncheck the customer ID because I don't need that in my report. And I'm going to uncheck the region because I happen to know that there is not much information in the region. So the dataset name, I just leave it to Northwind dataset. I'm going to hit finish. So right after I've done with that, the report design wizard pops up. It tells me to select the data source. It already knows that my project data source contains the Northwind dataset and the customers table. So if I elapse, you can see all the fields are there, but except the customer's ID and the region, which I didn't want to have in my report. So I'm going to go ahead, click next. I leave the report type, the default setting to tabular, and then shows all my available fields. And I want to have those fields on the detailed section of my report. Gonna hit next again. I leave it to step the report layout. Gonna hit next. And a style, I'm gonna use the corporate style because I want to have like a blue heading. So those are the styles. As you switch through it, it just changes the header coloring a little bit. And those are available out of the box. So I'm gonna choose the corporate one. Click next, and I'm gonna call the report customers. Finish. So once the report wizard is finished, it has created the report. As you can see, here's the report and got the name customers. So if you wanted to change something, you can do it right here in the report designer. So, but for now, because I want to create really a simple report, I leave it as it is. So now in order to make my report control aware that there's a report, because if I elapse the Smart tab again, you can see there is not a report chosen in the combo box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it, and it knows automatically that I do have the customer's report created. So I'm going to say OK. I'm going to choose the report. So what happens under the cover is it creates my customer binding source and table adapters and everything I need in order to access the database. So now I should be good to go and hit run. So reports being generated. And as you can see, I got the report with all the data in my database. So the first thing I need to change is, I'm gonna step back and I go right into the Northwind dataset, because accessing all the data from a database is never good practice. So what I want to do is I want to set a default parameter here. Gonna add a configure the query and gonna go to the query builder, which is here now, and I say okay, gonna have country and filter it where it's at country. So what I'm doing here is I just add a parameter to my query. It's okay. Gonna click finish. So in order to test if that works, go back to my form. And I'm gonna switch to code view. And as you can see, my data adaptive fill method already knows that there's a country, a parameter missing. So I'm gonna go ahead and just for test purposes, I'm gonna change this right away. I just wanna know if it works. Gonna enter USA as a default parameter. So let's run this with USA in it. And my report's being generated. And as you can see, I'm getting only the customers come from the United States. So this is quite nice. Let me do this a little bit more dynamic. Go back to my form and gonna undock the parent container. So because I need a little bit more space, I want to add a combo box with several countries so that the user can make the selection what he wants to see. So the first thing I need to do is go to my toolbox. I'm gonna add a label to my website. And in the label properties window, I'm gonna go down and say, okay, select country. And the next thing I need to do is I add a combo box to my form, and in the combo box I'm gonna add some countries. So ideally you would add the items to the combo box dynamically, meaning reading it out from the database, but in order just to show you quickly how that works, I'm gonna add them manually. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add some countries. First countries Brazil, then I'm gonna add France, Germany, gonna add the UK and the USA. Gonna hit OK. So now, of course, I want to have the countries being displayed, or the customers from particular countries being displayed every time I make a change in the combo box. So what I'm going to do is just going to double click on that and going to copy the code from here, because what I'm doing now is I fill the table adapter with the value in my combo box. So get rid of that. I'm gonna say combo box 1, selected item to string. So right now, if I run this example now, I should be able to see first a report with all the countries from the with all the customers from the United States, and here we are. And now if a user goes ahead and changes to Germany, I got all the customers from Germany. and the UK, got all the customers from the UK. So, I'd like to thank you for your time, and if you'd like to watch more How Do I videos, please visit msdn.com. Thanks again.